Hello, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Meryl Fury, and today we're going to be working with meat substitutes. Specifically, we're working with Portobello mushroom caps. One of the most common questions I get, being somebody who is very plant forward and very plant curious, is what do I eat instead of meat? Like, what do you eat at a barbecue? So I have some answers for you today. We'll be working with these very big, meaty, thick portobello caps. We're going to marinate them, and if we were at a barbecue, we'd throw them on a grill. Today, we're inside the Cargill Community Kitchen, so we'll be doing them on top of the stove. We'll also be dressing them with barbecue sauce. This is something even my carnivore husband requests for dinner, okay? So let's get started. We have a marinade that we have to put together first. We're gonna marinate them in a plastic bag because that just really is the quickest, cleanest, easiest way to do it. We're gonna start with balsamic vinegar, 1/4 cup. Pure olive oil, 1/4 cup. Dijon mustard. Always great to get that base for the Dijon. Gives a little bit of a piquant flavor while being still very elegant and rich. Here we have 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. We're going to use that to kind of rinse off my spoon. We've got about a teaspoon of salt and some thyme. You can use fresh or dried. If you use dried, use a little bit less than 1 teaspoon. Okay, if it's fresh, it's 1 teaspoon. I'm going to mix that together. Use it to rinse off my spoon while I'm in there. I hate leaving ingredients on the spoon. We're also going to add in 3 good meaty garlic cloves, okay? We mince those fine. I've already sliced them. Now I'm just going to mince them. Portobello mushrooms are great for one of the 5 tastes that the human tongue can sense. We can sense salty, sweet, sour, bitter, and umami. Portobello mushrooms give that umami. And actually, this dish has just about every flavor in it. So we have umami for the portobello mushrooms. We have the hot coming from the garlic. We've got a little bit of sweet that comes from the olive oil, actually, and will also be included in the bread and in the barbecue sauce. Salt, clearly coming from the salt, and a little bit of bitter coming from the thyme. We're going to mix the marinade thoroughly. The portobello mushroom caps I've already wiped off and removed the stems. One other thing I do need to do, it helps to just scratch the top of the mushrooms, just really, really lightly, so that the marinade can get in. It will also go in through the bottom. The gills on the bottom are very porous and will allow the marinade to go in that way. And we'll do the same on this one. First time I made these for my husband, who is a sworn carnivore. He loved them. And now they are like every week we have them. So like I said, just lightly scoring the top of the mushrooms so the marinade can go in. And we may only get 4 in this bag. We'll do our best. So the world of plant-based cooking is huge, tremendous. You can't come to the end of it. And there's a great number of chefs and people who are foodies and food enthusiasts who are developing new recipes and trying new ingredients all the time. So when people ask me, what do you eat instead of meat? It literally, the repertoire and the number of recipes and what's available grows, I don't know, every day, several times a day. You look on the internet, there are all manner of recipes you can find. And that's one of the most important and most valuable things you can have as a plant-based person, or for a plant-curious person. I wonder if we should call that plant-curious. Is it plant-curious, or is it plant-courageous? Or is it plant-curio? Or is it plant-curiosity? I don't know. But one of the best things you can have is a solid recipe source. We need to let these marinate for a little while. You can see they're in the bag now. And it being a Ziploc bag, it should hold itself together nicely. We need to let these marinate for about 2 hours, and then we can cook them. All right, see you back when they're done marinating. All right, now we are back with our Portobello mushroom burgers. They've been marinating for 2 hours in that rich marinade that we made with the Dijon mustard and the olive oil and the balsamic vinegar. Has some liquid smoke, has some jalapeno juice. It's got everything to really make it kick. We're gonna get it going now. Turn on the burner. Now this is something that you can do on the grill really easily, but we're in the Cargill kitchen, so we're inside. We're just gonna use a little bit of olive oil. You won't need much because these have already been marinating in olive oil. And when the pan gets hot, we'll put the burgers in. Like I said, this is one of my husband's favorite meals, and he is a verified and sworn, he calls himself a meathead. Carnivore. He lately has gone plant-based though, based on some lab work that he got back. That said, and his cardiologist told him he needed to go plant-based, so he's doing what he can to hold off chronic illness. That is one of the best parts to me of whole food plant-based eating, is the ability that the food actually has to heal the human body. Powerful. It has been studied many times. And whole food plant-based diet, especially if you, the farthest you can go toward 100% whole food plant-based, is the only diet known to reverse, cure, prevent heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure. It's amazing. All right. Hands ready. Get these burgers in here. And we're in the library, you know, they're going to be smelling this all the way upstairs. Now when I'm at home, I save the marinade for the next time around. And it's done and you don't have to worry about it. Saves on food waste. Saves on your grocery budget. The mushrooms will shrink a little bit as they cook. Now the other thing I wanted to let you know, I'm not much for promoting brands, but there are some that it's important that you take a look at. Some ingredients in particular, it's important you take a look at when you're going shopping. So just for example, in the last probably 2 to 3 years, maybe a little bit longer, there's been really a problem with olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil coming out of Italy and Greece has been contaminated. I actually bought a bottle of olive oil, beautiful bottle. The glass bottle itself was smoking. The ingredients, what was in the bottle, however, the olive oil was terrible. It tasted exactly like chemicals. No olive oil included at all, I'm sure. I did a little bit of research. I look into stuff like this because I prefer my food to taste like food and not like chemicals. And this one brand actually is rated very highly for its purity and quality. One thing I would always recommend is that you read the ingredients on whatever you buy, because the typical American diet is well known worldwide for including ingredients that aren't really food. They're things that are made to look like food. And that is part of why Americans have such a high rate of heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancers, things like that. All right, we're going to flip these over. They are smelling pretty amazing. Wow. I made these the other day on the grill, and actually my brother-in-law was visiting, and he thought I was cooking real cow burgers, beef burgers. So mushrooms are really highly absorbent. They will take in a lot of liquid. We started out with more than probably close to a cup and a half of liquid that we had in the beginning. And you can see how much is being used. That's just because the mushrooms absorb that much. They're looking really good, smelling really great. I can only imagine what the people upstairs in the library are thinking. Great stuff. I'm going to flip them over again. Oh, that's looking really good. See that little starting to char there? Beautiful. Woo. The balsamic vinegar and maple syrup allow it to kind of caramelize. And of course, if this was on the grill, you'd have more of that smoky flavor. But it does have some liquid smoke in the marinade. Looking good. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. So if anybody has any questions about plant-based living, plant-based eating, by all means, put them in the comments below. Ask your questions. We are anxious to hear and help and give you the answers that you need. To finish these burgers, we're going to just put a little bit of barbecue sauce. Now, like I said before, it's really important to read the ingredients in what you're eating. You want to make sure that everything is as clean as possible. This needs a little bit of mixing, just like that. And I know it's not going to work if I try and shake it. You want things to be as clean as possible, at least I do. What makes it vegan is that there's no animal products. Sometimes, even in, they'll say plant-based products, there may still be honey, which is an animal product. Some people do not eat honey as vegans. They do not. Plant-based people may. And that's a conversation for another episode. What is the difference between being vegan and plant-based and vegetarian? And that's a whole conversation all by itself. So we're just going to allow this barbecue sauce now to caramelize. I'll put a little bit more on the top. Now in the bread that I'm going to use is Dave's Killer Bread, quite a decent company, kind of on the rise. They use whole grains and no animal products at all. No lousy additives. So it's gotten to be pretty popular in the plant-based world. Flip them. Like I said, when I make these at home, I save the marinade. You can just keep it in the refrigerator or in the freezer if you want. and then it is readily available next time you want to make them, because the marinade is the part of this dish that takes the longest time making it and having the burgers sit in it. So if you had marinade already ready, you could put these in the marinade in the morning. And by the time you get home, maybe after work or after whatever you're doing, your burgers would be ready to go. You just throw them in a pan or on the grill. And I think we are pretty ready. I'm gonna get a burger bun. I'm gonna turn this off. And I'll plate this. Put a little salad greens on there. A little shallot or red onion goes well. If you like tomato, that's good. If you like vegan mayonnaise, that's good. Mustard, ketchup, whatever you like. And that's that story. All right, there's the burger. All right, I'll let you know how it is. Who can argue with that? Nobody. Nobody can argue with that. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Red is great. Field greens are great. Little bit of onion is nice. Little bit of garlic. It's got the sweet, the tang, the sour. It's juicy, tender. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Thanks so much for coming to the Cargill Community Kitchen today. We did our Portobello mushroom cat burgers. I hope you enjoy them. If you do make this recipe, please comment below. Let us know how it went. If you put your own spin on it, you add your own herbs, your own spices, anything like that, we'd be interested in hearing how it goes for you. We'll see you next time.